has not experienced it use this information to benefit for himself. Yes, and now the person
you
if
put
say,
it in very simplistic terms. When you say a blockade on the road, it's very
Yeah,
different.
that's
a simple analogy,
It's a very different
but it's-
situation.
yeah, so
It's a good analogy.
It's a
That's
way
right.
of addressing life.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
a very
why-
good analogy.
So
a blockade in the
yes, sir.
You've
we
got
do
it.
not know the road
quite
ahead.
easily.
We do not know the road ahead. But the person or the someone who has direct
I wish our
experience.
problems were as simple as a block on the road where you need somebody help to
That's where we need prophets and messengers
Yeah,
for
that's
guidance. They can see all the hazards and they
Their
remind us.
reality is who is beyond our experience, which is beyond our experience, but that can affect
Islam
us.
came from the ass of
Yeah.
Muhammad.
So that's why, yeah, that's it. Yes.
For me, it's up to us to respect each other as we find people. And if they're happy to hear what we have to say, all well and good. If they're not, then okay,
Okay.
right? So
Absolutely, absolutely. We have to live with our
We have
differences.
moral obligation to, I mean, if we
We
know
can
that.
agree to disagree.
but you know what reality is like in the world
No,
we live
that's
in.
why we need to change that culture. We need to change the people of thinking, look, you need to understand that people may not necessarily agree with you. You have to live in this understanding that there may be people with a different set of opinions. And you have to appreciate that because you can't force someone to believe in your opinions. Look what America and the West is trying to do. They're trying to impose democratic and Western capitalistic values in our Muslim countries. They're forcing us. Why? Why when Algeria had an election and they said we wanted Islamic government to come in place, America didn't like it. They changed the government. This is what's happening. Muslims want to live by their understanding of life, their reality.
Without harming anyone.
Yeah, but there are Western civilization and power like the America, Europe, UK, France. They don't like it. They don't want it because they're so greedy. They're so rotten in their core because of their greedy mindset. They don't want Muslims to live by Islam because the moment they see Islam is implemented in societies living by Muslims, there will be no much corruption. But they want to create corruption by corrupting it.
Are you suggesting there's no corruption in the Muslim world?
No, Muslim world today is suffering corruption internally and externally by influence external and internal. The external influences is they want to change Muslims from living their way of life as through Islam by way of what? Capitalism, consumerism, democracy, all of these things. Give usury and interest, have brothels, have pornography, have alcohol, have drug addictions, because that's what the West is feeding its money and power with. Islam says none to that, and they have a problem. So why don't they leave us alone? Let the Muslims live by Islam.
We agree with your
my
position
friend,
that we
listen,
should
my
not
friend-
force one another.
My
I mean,
friend, in the end, we are all human beings.
Of course.
We are human beings, and we have got our things we enjoy and things we don't enjoy. Very similar. We are more similar than different.
Correct.
That's the reality, right?
Absolutely.
As basic human beings, that is the reality. You'll agree?
Yeah.
we should
So,
help.
so in that case,
That's one of the things.
so in that case, we all want to be prosperous, and I see that some parts of the world are prosperous and others are not. There's a lot in the Muslim world which is very prosperous.
Do you know why they're not prosperous?
Oil-rich countries.
Do you know why some countries in the Muslim world are not prosperous? Shall I tell you
Are
the
not
secret?
prosperous.
Shall I tell you the secret? Because they came to our country and then looted our country. The underground system here in UK was built because of the resources from our countries. Unfortunately.
You're going back to colonialism. you're
Oh
talking about-
yes.
Yeah,
So I'm giving you a
aware.
historical example in which Muslim countries were not given the opportunity
abusing or-
to develop as it was developing. The GDP that we had compared to the GDP here, that's why the West needs to change its
A
mindset.
classic example is Egypt. You would expect Egypt today. You think about the pharaoh, the days of the pharaohs.
Exactly how it was.
You would think that today they would be
The superpowers
richer than
of the day.
America, right?
Yes,
Wouldn't you?
even more
Where
than
are they
that.
today? I mean, I was in Cairo. I was in Egypt.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't seen the country as a whole, but I was in the heart of the country, which is the capital, right? They haven't moved. They haven't moved. You wouldn't believe it. A lot of you have you been there?
Yes.
Why do you think? Have you been there?
Yes.
Right. Have you seen where the pyramids are?
Yes.
Right. Have you seen how close the road is to the pyramids? What's going on there? You must have been there to do that, to build a road next to the pyramids.
So it's now.
You can't say that the Americans told them to do
No,
that,
no.
can you?
Because they've corrupted
they
the people.
destroy themselves.
They corrupted the mentality of the people. They corrupted them. Our regimes who are now in control are corrupt.
But it's not the fault of it's not the fault of
Remember what I said?
the French.
No. I am.
Internal and external.
Remember what I said? Remember what I said?
Internal,
Internal and external influences internally as well as externally. I can't blame the West for what's happening in the Muslim world only.
Why do you think? Why we both know that Christians, Jews, Arabs, Muslims, Judaism, whatever you like, they all have the good people and bad people. That's the reality.
People need
Because in the
to
end, we're only
change.
human beings.
People need to
We're
change.
humans. We got strengths, we got weaknesses.
Anyway.
we got temptation.
Anyway, just to summarize,
right.
do you read the Quran or have you read the Quran?
I have a Quran at home.
I know you have one.
Have I read
Have
it?
you- have you read it?
Have I read it? Listen, I'll tell you something. I told you originally, we should have given you sufficient clue in terms of how I regard religion. When I say to you that what I experience is what's real for me, that's where it stops.
Does it have to stop?
That's where it stops. But at the same time, I know that if I was threatened to the point where my life was threatened, I would call for a spiritual and outside spirit to rescue me. Will I get that rescue? I don't suppose so. But I would call out. I'm only a vulnerable human being. Right? In the end, we all are. Very vulnerable human
But
beings.
I would propose that why do you stop at your experience when we talked about experience are very, very much subjective. You know, yes,
And limited also.
your experience is yours, but sometimes our experience can misguide us. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. Yes, we can get it wrong.
So
Of course
how
we can get
do
it
you
wrong.
know for certain that you are not being misguided
No, but
through your experience?
I will know that at least a percentage of the way I interpret is going to be wrongly interpreted, right? I know that I'll make mistakes. Because
But we want to offer you something better. We want to offer you Islam where it transcends its subjectivity, gives you the objective reality to make you happy here and the hereafter. So what it means is, the copy that you have in the Quran at home, please open up and read it.
you've got to give me a paper. You say guaranteed infallible.
It does say so. The Quran says there is, in fact, do you have a copy of the Quran, anyone? Okay, I'll show you something.
Guaranteed
Before we go,
infallible.
I want to show you, I want to show you something. Because you mentioned it,
There are mistakes whose effects
look.
are irreversible. You cannot
Look.
reverse the effect. So that's why some mistakes
this
can...
is important. After the introductory chapter of the Quran, this is chapter 2, right? Surah Al-Baqarah. This book, there is no doubt in it, is a guidance to those who guard against evil. No doubt. Remember you talked about guaranteed infallibility from the very beginning.
Sugar-free milk.
That's right, thank you. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. No doubt there is guidance. For him. Guaranteed. Yeah? This is a book. There is no doubt that there's guidance in it. That's exactly what you're asking for. It's there. God confirms to you. You want guidance, guaranteed guidance, infallible guidance. There you go, you have it. And you've got it at home. All you need to do, brush the dust away, start reading into it,
There's no dust on
and
it.
then, anyway, pleasure speaking to you. I hope you have not offended by our words in any way, or
Do I look offended to you?
no. You take care, right? Pleasure speaking to you. We'll chat again. My name is Mansur, and yours?
Mansur.
Mansur. This is Sarwar, and the other
Sarwar.
friend,
Sarwar.
Sawan.
Sarwar, R at the end, Sarwar.
Sawan.
Yeah. What's yours?
Mansur Sawan. So, you would say yourself. right?
Yusuf,
John.
Joseph,
John.
John. No,
John.
John is Yahya.
Yeah.
Well, in the UK, I
Oh,
was, born, I
Johanna.
was born in London.
Yeah,
I was
Johanna.
born in London, right? So
Yeah.
my name is John. Yeah, Johnny.
John, that's fine.
Johnny.
John is okay. Johnny is okay.
Actually, my birth certificate name is Johnny.
It's okay, Johnny. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
I can assure you.
Um,